Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome back. Got a lot of work to do this year. Good work. So, welcome to the Thursday, January 5th, 2012 meeting of the Cape Cod Commission, 1st District Courthouse, Chamber of Assembly of Delegates. And I would ask at this time for roll call.
Barnstable, Royden Richardson.
Present.
Bourne, Michael Blanton. Present. Brewster, Elizabeth Taylor, present. Chatham, Lynn Pleffner. Present. Dennis, Richard Roy. Present. Eastham, Joy Brookshire. Falmouth is currently vacant. Harwich, Robert Bradley. Here. Mashpee, Ernest Virgilio. Orleans, Len Short. Here. Provincetown, Austin Knight. Present. Sandwich, Joanne O'Keefe. Truro, Peter Graham. Here. Wellfleet, Roger Putnam. Here. Yarmouth, John McCormick Jr. Here. County Commissioner, Mary Pat Flynn. Here. Minority Representative, John Harris. Native American Representative, Mark Harding. Governor's appointee, Herb Olson. Here.
Thank you. I believe we have a quorum. And at this point, I would ask anyone from the public wishing to speak, not on items on our agenda, to please come to the podium to do so. Seeing none, I would ask the Executive Director for his report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Happy New Year to you. Just a brief report over the holidays. Staff has been hard at work on the Regional Wastewater Management Plan. You'll hear a lot more about that as we move forward through the year. And yesterday morning I had an opportunity to address the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. And they are requesting really on a quarterly basis now an update on wastewater and matters related to that. So I think that's a good sign. We've had a lot of support from them, and they've been a great working partner with us on that issue. So that continues. And then other than that, we have not so busy an agenda today, but the next several meetings coming up are really going to pick up the pace. There'll be a lot of large and important projects before us. I just want to call the Commission's attention to that as we move forward with meetings on January 18th and then 2 in February. That will be significant and probably rather lengthy meetings. So with that, let's get started. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. At this point, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes of 12/1/11. Been moved and seconded. Any comments, compliments, or complaints about the minutes? All those in favor for approval say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. Thank you. Next agenda item. The notification of withdrawal of MP Renaissance, LLC, Brewster Assisted Living Facility. Andrea Adams, please.
Thank you, sir. For the record, my name is Andrea Adams. I'm the Cape Cod Commission Senior Regulatory Planner. In your packages, you should have a memo under my signature dated the 29th of December last, and 2 letters attached to that memorandum. Basically, the project is in Brewster. It was proposed to be a rather large assisted care facility. It was to be located at 0 Harwich Road in Brewster. Attached, as I said, to the memorandum is a copy of a December 29th letter from the Office of Singer and Singer. One to myself as a regulatory officer, noting that the above referenced application, which is MP Renaissance Route 124 Brewster, be withdrawn without prejudice. And the second letter, also dated December 29th, which is stamped received by the Office of Susan Lemon, Town Planner, is a letter from Attorney Singer notifying the members of the Brewster Planning Board that the project is withdrawn from the local level. Essentially, once the project is withdrawn from the local level, and I received an email confirmation this afternoon from Susan Levin, the Brewster Town Planner, that the town does consider the project withdrawn. It's basically a notification to the Cape Cod Commission members that you know that the project that was in process is withdrawn. I don't believe you need to take a vote. It's just advising you of that fact.
Thank you. The next agenda item is a public hearing. Cape Cod Commercial Linen Service relocation. It's a final hearing, draft decision, and this is continued from December 19th, 2011. And at this point, there's no hearing notice, but I do need to swear in anyone wishing to address this commission today. Staff, people wishing to speak, please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Andrea Adams,
Do hereby swear
do hereby swear
that the testimony I am about to give is the truth,
that the testimony I'm about to give is the truth,
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Thank you all.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Just a point of order on the withdrawal. I believe the enabling regulations require the commission to approve the withdrawal as to form, and I think you do need to make a motion as to that fact.
Very good. Thank you. I would consider a motion at this time. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Thank you. Now Jessica Rumpel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, Jessica Rempel, Regulatory Officer with the Cape Cod Commission, be presenting on the Cape Cod Commercial Linen Service. I just wanted to update you while we're just opening here. The subcommittee just did convene prior to this meeting to review some amendments to the draft decision that you received in your packet, and that's in your packet today as some red line changes to the draft decision. There's just a few to note there. For the most part, it's regarding general findings number 9 and general condition number 5, just updates to the revision dates of site plans and a stormwater operation and maintenance plan, and also an additional finding and condition regarding proposed solar, roof-mounted solar installation. The decision has also been amended to talk about that procedure that we just had that subcommittee meeting, and the testimony section will also be updated and the materials submitted to the record. The subcommittee just did vote to approve those amendments and recommend approval of the amended decision to the full commission here at this meeting. Okay, so my overview for the project, I can try this, I guess, but I'll go through a project description, procedural overview, standards for review and approval, subcommittee findings and conditions, and then subcommittee recommendations. The project is a change of use redevelopment at 880 Addicks Lane in Hyannis. The site is a developed 1.86 acre parcel of land with a 27,000 square foot building on the site and parking. This is the former site of the FW Webb Building, which was a wholesale supplier of refrigeration and plumbing supplies. The applicant is proposing to relocate its 2 existing facilities, which are also in Hyannis, to the new location and consolidate its operations there. No additions or alterations are proposed except for new signage and minor changes to the existing loading docks. The applicant also proposes to install a new natural gas generator and the roof-mounted solar panels that I just described. In addition, the applicant proposes to remove existing debris from the site and some of the existing pavement on the site. And finally, the applicant is proposing 2 new bio-infiltration rain gardens and landscaping. The project is a DRI pursuant to the enabling regulations for any proposed change of use where the gross floor area of the building subject to the change of use is greater than 10,000 square feet. The application materials were received beginning on October 25th, 2011, and the town referral from the Town of Barnstable Building Commissioner through the interim town manager was received on November 29th of 2011. The applicant applied for DRI and limited DRI review. The subcommittee held a public hearing on the project on December 19th and held subcommittee meetings on December 19th to deliberate on the project and limit the scope of review, on December 28th to review the draft written decision, and on January 5th to review amendments to the draft written decision. Pursuant to Section 5 of the enabling regulations for any project that is a DRI, the proponent may apply to the Commission to limit the scope of DRI review, which the applicant did. The subcommittee at its December 19, 2011 meeting found that the scope of project review can be limited to the water resources section of the RPP. So I'll go through that now. The site is in a wellhead protection area and is located approximately 1.4 miles up gradient of a cluster of 3 public water supply wells. The property is also within a marine water recharge area for Lewis Bay, where a critical nitrogen load has been determined, and the property and its developed surroundings are mapped as a water quality improvement area. The applicable water resource goals are listed on the screen and include drinking water quality and quantity and stormwater quality. Under the Water Resources section, nitrogen loading, RPP standards require projects in wellhead protection areas meet RPP limits on nitrogen loading to groundwater of 5 parts per million and require projects in marine water recharge areas where a critical nitrogen load has been determined to not exceed the identified critical nitrogen loading. Based on a review of the applicant's nitrogen loading calculations, the subcommittee found that the proposed project will result in improved nitrogen loading relative to existing conditions, and the relevant nitrogen loading calculations are there on the screen, and will result in a net reduction in nitrogen load to the watershed. As such, the subcommittee recommends the project is consistent with applicable RPP standards. Under stormwater management, RPP standards require stormwater be managed on site. Stormwater design use biofiltration practices such as rain gardens. Structured infiltration devices accommodate storms that exceed the 25-year, 24-hour storm event, and a professional engineer certified stormwater maintenance and operation plan be submitted. The project proposes to improve groundwater recharge and stormwater quality at the site by installing 2 bioinfiltration rain gardens designed to contain and infiltrate up to the 50-year design storm event on site. In addition, the applicant submitted a stormwater operations and maintenance plan certified by a professional engineer that demonstrates compliance with the Massachusetts stormwater guidelines. As such, the subcommittee recommends the proposed site plan and stormwater operations and maintenance plan comply with the applicable RPP standards, and the project be conditioned to require the applicant to construct the project in accordance with these plans. In addition, the subcommittee recommends the project be conditioned to require the applicant to maintain records documenting implementation of the stormwater plan on site to be provided upon written request, and to require the applicant to submit to commission staff a written report documenting inspection of the site's stormwater system within 1 year of receiving a final certificate of compliance. Continue under Water Resources Landscape Management. MPSWR 1.5 requires projects to adopt best management practices such as a turf and landscape management plan. The applicant's site plan and turf and landscape management plan limits lawn fertilizer nitrogen to 1 pound per 1,000 square feet per year, includes native and drought-resistant plantings, indicates that organic fertilizers and pesticides will be used, and that the use of these will be minimized. As such, the subcommittee recommends the plan is in compliance with MPS WR 1.5, and in addition, the subcommittee recommends these plans are consistent with landscaping standards in the community character section of the RPP, as these require projects to improve buffer plantings between parking areas in the street, as well as interior parking lot landscaping, and to implement a landscape plan and maintenance agreement. The subcommittee recommends the project can be conditioned to require the applicant to construct the project in accordance with the approved site plan and turf and landscape management plan. Continue under Water Resources and Hazardous Materials and Waste. As the site is located in a wellhead protection area, minimum performance standards WR 2.2 and WM 1.1, which prohibit the use, treatment, generation, handling, storage, or disposal of hazardous materials or hazardous wastes, with the exception of household quantities in wellhead protection areas, apply to this project. The applicant proposes to use and store a variety of laundry products, including laundry detergents, laundry boosters, water softeners, bleach, etc. In addition, gear oil and waste gear oil are used and generated in the washing equipment. Based on their review of the list of materials and material safety data sheets for each of the materials proposed to be used and stored at the site, the subcommittee found all of the products are comparable to consumer products sold in retail stores, which are excluded from the definition of hazardous materials. The project requires the gear oil and generates waste gear oil in amounts below the household quantity for the periodic replacement of oil in its washing equipment. Therefore, the subcommittee recommends the project complies with the RPP standards and be conditioned to require the applicant to comply with the household quantity of hazardous materials and waste pursuant to these standards. The subcommittee recommends the project be conditioned, this is under a general finding and condition, to be designed and constructed consistent with materials and plans submitted to the record and in accordance with the items listed on the screen. The site plan, stormwater operations and maintenance plan, and the turf and landscape management plan I've already covered in the water resources findings and conditions. Regarding energy, I have a couple things highlighted here. According to the materials submitted to the record, including the listed memorandum from Demand Management Institute, the commercial linen service will be installing new energy efficient equipment that uses less water and gas, resulting in energy savings. It is estimated that the equipment upgrades the applicant is proposing will result in a reduction of 50% in annual gas use, 50% in annual electricity use, and 75% in annual water use as compared to baseline facilities operating with standard equipment. In addition, the applicant is working with the Textile Rental Services Association of America toward green laundry certification. And finally, the applicant is proposing to install solar panels on the roof of the existing building. The subcommittee recommends, should solar be pursued, it shall be installed consistent with sketch drawings that were submitted to the Commission on January 3rd of 2012. The subcommittee adopted written testimony from Joanne Miller-Buntich, Director of Growth Management for the Town of Barnstable, and found that the proposed development is consistent with the local comprehensive plan and with municipal development bylaws. And the subcommittee found that the Barnstable Townwide DCPC does not apply to the proposed project. The subcommittee also found that with the appropriate conditions, the proposed development is consistent with the regional policy plan. Listed on the screen are the probable benefits the subcommittee found for the proposed development. Some of these include the consolidation of services, the local ownership of the business, the use of energy-efficient equipment and the resulting energy and water savings, a reduction in nitrogen loading, and the implementation of several plans, including the stormwater operation and maintenance plan that were not in existence at the site before. As such, the subcommittee recommends the probable benefit from the proposed development is greater than the probable detriment. And in conclusion, the subcommittee recommends approval of the Cape Cod Commercial Linen Service proposed change of use redevelopment as a limited DRI with conditions. Thank you.
Thank you, and at this time I would invite the applicant to make a presentation, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. For the record, my name is Liza Cox. I'm an attorney with the firm of Nutter, McLennan & Fish, and I'm here this afternoon on behalf of the applicant. With me today is the Ehart family. The Ehart family is the owner of Cape Cod Commercial Linen Service. They're a local family. They live here in the town of Barnstable. They're very involved within our town and serve on several nonprofit boards and really exemplify the type of good corporate citizenship that we like to see see in our community. Cape Cod Commercial Linen Service has been in existence since 1985. It's, as I mentioned, a family-owned business. And with this site, the Eharts will be expending significant dollars investing and expanding their business as they leave their 2 current locations and consolidate into this new proposed location. Cape Cod Commercial Linen Service is critically important to our local economy. This use services the hotels and resorts and restaurants and major commercial enterprises that drive our local economy here on the Cape. I was going to talk a little bit about some of the benefits of this project. Jessica beat me to it, so I'm just going to highlight some of them very briefly. But one of which is I wanted to emphasize that this is in the right location for this use. With the new regional policy plan that you all adopted several years ago, you emphasized the importance of creating a regional land use vision map and encouraging the right kind of development within the right area. This area is mapped as an industrial service and trade area, and this use is consistent with the types of uses that should go in those areas. It's also consistent with the town of Barnstable's strategic land use vision map, as it's mapped as a regional commercial center strategic planning area by the town. And as Jessica mentioned, and there's correspondence from the Director of Growth Management for the town who's here today, confirming that as well. As Jessica mentioned, the project is within a Zone 2, and one of the significant benefits of the project is the elimination of grandfathered hazardous materials, as you define that term, within the Zone 2. The prior use at varying times had different amounts of hazardous materials, but it ranged from upwards of 627 gallons and at the same time 700 to 750 pounds of hazardous materials within the Zone 2. With this use, as you define hazardous materials, there will be none. So that's a significant improvement. In addition, in the area of energy, I know Jessica mentioned some of the benefits that this project is incorporating. They're spending over $2 million on new energy efficient equipment to go into this building, which will have significant benefits in terms of consumption and usage. And they will be the first certified green commercial launderer on Cape Cod with these additional investments that they are making. Finally, in terms of aesthetics, this site is really now becoming a gateway aesthetic site within the town of Hyannis. And there is a significant amount of new landscaping that's being proposed along the buffer area that will really improve the visual aesthetic of the site, in addition to repaving and regrading the existing parking areas on the site. So with that, I'm going to be brief, but certainly we can answer any questions you may have. I want to especially thank the Commission staff who've been working on this project, Jessica and Christy especially, as well as the subcommittee. This applicant has the property under purchase and sale agreement and has a very tight time frame under that agreement, and is anxious to move in forward before the busy summer season starts and really commence its operation so that it's in place for the summer. So with that, I thank you very much for your time, and certainly if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
At this time, I would invite any questions from the commission members. Elizabeth.
I just want to once again extend my congratulations for being the first green commercial laundry on Cape Cod. And I'm very happy to see that you're going forward with the solar panels on the roof. I hope they're going to be non-glare, but congratulations again. Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission members or? Okay. Seeing none, then I would invite any federal officials who would like to speak. State officials. Any local officials wishing to speak?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Joanne Miller-Buntich, Director of Growth Management for the Town of Barnstable and the DRI Liaison for the town. Just to reiterate our support for this project, not only does it comply with our land use policies and regulations, but we're just delighted to see this use for this parcel. As Liza mentioned, we've identified this as a gateway primarily because of some of the improvements that have been made with the new airport development, but also because the area is continuing to grow. The Harts have been delightful to work with. We wish them luck, and I'm available to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you. Any testimony from anyone else in the audience who would like to speak? Okay, seeing none, I would ask the applicant for final comment.
No final comment other than to ask your approval of the decision as presented. Thank you.
Thank you. Staff, please.
No final comment, thank you.
Thank you. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to close the hearing and the record. Moved and seconded. Discussion about that. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Now discussion of the draft decision. Is Jessica going to lead that, or is this open discussion time? Anybody care to discuss the decision? Yes, Jack.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to say, as we serve on various subcommittees and we're asked to balance the benefits versus the detriments, I have to say that this project, I think, reached a new high in benefits. The redevelopment of an existing vacant site, the fact that the environment will be much better off than with the previous tenant, I think it's a wonderful project. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or remarks about the draft decision? All right, at this time, it's time for a motion on the project, and I will make that motion in the consideration of time. I move to approve the proposed change of use redevelopment of Cape Cod Commercial Linen Service, Inc. in Hyannis as a limited DRI with conditions, and to approve the draft written decision as amended.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Are there abstentions? So moved. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is a procedural only item, which means there will be no public testimony or public comment. At this point, I would ask Christy Senatori to come to the podium and conduct a public hearing, the procedural hearing on the New Generation Wind joint venture.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There is a hearing notice.
Thank you for the reminder. Please read the notice.
She beat me to it.
Okay.
The Cape Cod Commission will conduct a public hearing on Thursday, January 5th, 2012, beginning at 3:00 p.m. in the 1st District Courthouse, Assembly of Delegates Chamber, Route 6A, Barnstable, Mass. The following development of regional impact, DRI, has been referred to the Cape Cod Commission under Section 13A of the Cape Cod Commission Act, Chapter 716 of the Acts of 1989 as amended, and Sections 3 and 7 of the DRI enabling regulations. This project will be heard pursuant to Section 13A of the Cape Cod Commission Act and Sections 3 and 7 of the DRI enabling regulations. The purpose of the final hearing is to allow for testimony on the proposed development and consideration of the proposed draft written decision and final DRI decision on the project by the Commission. This notice is being published as required by Section 5 of the Cape Cod Commission Act. Project name, New Generation Wind Project. Project applicant, New Generation Wind Joint Venture. Project location, west of Cape Cod Canal in Bourne, Massachusetts, adjacent to Bourndale Road, Route 25, and Scenic Highway Route 6, including the site of Cape Cod Aggregates located at 665 Scenic Highway Route 6. Project description, a wind energy generation project consisting of 4 turbines on multiple parcels in the town of Bourne, expected to generate approximately 9.5 megawatts of power.
Thank you. Christy, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the record, Christy Senatori, Chief Regulatory Officer with the Cape Cod Commission. Like the chair had stated, this is a procedural hearing only, and I'm acting as a hearing officer to continue the public hearing to February 2nd, 2012 at 3:00 p.m. at the Assembly of Delegates Chamber, 1st District Courthouse, Route 6A in Barnstable, Massachusetts, and no further action is needed on this agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, the next agenda item is request for extension by Town of Barnstable for Barnstable Municipal Airport work. Jessica Wilgus, please.
Good afternoon, Jessica Wilgus, Commission Counsel. This agenda item, you may recall from the last commission meeting, the Town of Barnstable had requested a review of their determination of emergency for the Barnstable Municipal Airport. And with that, our enabling regulations require that if the work that's about to be undertaken is going to exceed a 30-day period, that they obtain a written authorization from the Commission. To that end, we received a letter addressed to Paul Nizwicki from Thomas Lynch, Town Manager of the Town of Barnstable, asking for that written authorization from the Commission on the basis that he had been advised that the contractor that was performing the work of demolishing the old terminal had discovered that the ongoing asbestos remediation was larger than they originally had anticipated, and that in and of itself would take more than the 30-day period. So they sent the letter requesting that we give them that written authorization. And to that end, in the event that you were so inclined to grant the written authorization, I did provide you a written draft for your consideration. I know we have representatives both from the airport and from the town, and you may want to hear from them, and I can come back up if you'd like.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone from the town that would like to speak?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the Commission. As stated by Jessica, the contractor who...
I need your name, please.
I'm sorry, Bruce Gilmore. I didn't mean to be presumptuous. Attorney for the Airport Commission. The building, as many of you are probably aware, those who may have eaten at Armand Telligan's restaurant back in the 50s, is an older building. And as such, the use of asbestos in insulation and other parts of the building was quite extensive, far more extensive than we had anticipated. And as walls were pulled down and the contractor began the work of demolition, the determination was made that the asbestos remediation or elimination was going to take longer than had previously been planned in their critical path for demolition. We're informed, even yesterday it was extended a little bit because further findings of asbestos were made. The contractor's best estimate as of this morning is that they will have the remediation done and the building down by the 24th of this month. So because it's been a bit of a moving target, we requested 60 days, but again, I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody from the airport like to speak? Okay, thank you.
The attorney is here from the town, Mr. Chair.
don't want you to be overlooked.
No, I do. Okay, thank you for the reminder. Okay, at this point, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Yes.
I move that the commission authorize the chair to sign a letter to the town of Barnstable granting approval to continue emergency work as outlined in their January 3rd, 2012 request.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Well, hold on just a minute. There is some discussion and/or comment.
Microphone, please. One question. They asked for 60 days, and is that, I didn't see that in the letter as such, 60 days. Is that something that has to be in the motion?
It doesn't need to be in the motion.
Okay.
We just need, they need written authorization to continue the work, and then they issue the permits, so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Thank you. At this time, the next agenda item is other business. Any other business that needs to be transacted before the commission? Seeing none. At this point, it's time for member comment. Any member of the commission like to make comment? Okay, very good. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. So moved.